feel too bad. Okay. So the name of this video, the creator of said video, his name is Colin Lack. You guys should subscribe if you like this video or this style of video, even if you don't agree with him and you like this style of video. Feel free to subscribe. That's probably a really good idea. I should probably at least like the video because he put some amount of work into it, him and his editor. Though I think I feel like they're bad, like their arguments are in bad faith, but we'll get into said arguments and why I believe they're in bad faith. The name of the video up in the top corner, I'm sure you can read that. Maybe my stuff is in the way, but it says Tekken 8 needs to ban special style in ranked. So I can make a few inferences, and I made a few inferences as soon as I read this. First inference, this person is probably not above like purple rank because you don't see a lot of special style after purple rank. You don't really see a lot of special style even in red, but let's say they're probably below red or purple. Second inference, I feel like they more than likely have an issue with something else that comes along with special style. Like maybe the quality of player they're fighting against or the quality of connection they're fighting against along with the people that are playing special style, not special style itself. And I almost was certain that I was going to hear an argument about how fighting games are supposed to be hard or how fighting games have a lot of controls and that's the intricacies. And if you don't like that, you shouldn't play fighting games. Like some sort of a gatekeeper style of argument. So let's just take a listen.
3D fighting games. However, for everything it does well, there are a few things that could be improved. One of the improvements the game 100% needs is an overhaul to its ranked play. Specifically, it needs to remove special style from ranked. Now, before anyone goes off calling me a goddamned gatekeeper, I actually have no issue with special style or modern controls to an extent. I understand that they're literally training wheels for people who are brand new to fighting games, and that's a great thing. I'm actually always happy when fighting games are made somewhat more accessible to more casual crowds, as you never know. The casual of today might be the next Justin Wong, or they could be the next FGC content creator sitting in their basement struggling with insomnia.
Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
Anyways, lack of sleep rambling aside, Bandai Namco really need to ban special style in ranked. Here are the reasons why.
Okay.
So for point number 1, it's incredibly frustrating to deal with. I know someone will come into the comments saying get good scrub.
So saying it's frustrating to deal with is a get good scrub moment. That is absolutely a skill issue. Like, I mean, I hope they're at least going to make ad revenue off this video, but they're not at 1,000 subscribers. So that first point is already bad because that's like saying that if a character is frustrating to deal with, like I don't like Azucena. Like, let's put this in a perspective. I don't like Azucena. I think Azucena is frustrating to deal with. Do I think Azucena should be removed from ranked? Do I think Azucena should be removed from the game? No. Right? It's up to me. It's on me to learn how to play around Azucena or lose every time I fight her and move on to the next opponent. That's on me. That is a skill issue.
Admittedly, this can be the case in a lot of instances in fighting games. You just have to get good. In some ways, this is what's keeping fighting games a very niche community. Veterans who do nothing but bitch and complain about how they just had to get good if they wanted to have fun with fighting games.
And that's what he's doing right now.
It's like they're old men yelling at clouds. But here's the thing, they are right to an extent. Let me explain why. In my experience, the people using special style in ranked matches tend to be either on shitty Wi-Fi connections, or they're using lag switchers, which...
They're on shitty Wi-Fi connections. You see, I said one of the things that he would bring up in this video is that he generally doesn't have a problem with the style of self, the accessibility of special style, but something that's another factor, an outside factor of said thing. You don't have a problem with special style, maybe you do. But in this instance, you've already classified that your problem with special style users is that most of them are on lag switches, which is a bullshit excuse most people use. There's not a lot of people using lag switches. Generally, you're just bad or the connection's bad and you don't want to move on and you want to blame something for your loss. That's cool. We all do it. It happens. I blame outside factors for my losses, even when I shouldn't. I try to be honest with myself and say, yeah, I could have played better there. Or, damn, I have no idea what to do in this matchup. Fuck, I got beat up. But sometimes I will blame outside factors for my losses. Right? Lag affects me too. It doesn't matter that it also affects them. It affects me as well, and it makes me mad. It sucks. So I blame it sometimes. Yes. Am I going to assume that everyone I'm fighting against that's on special style is using a lag switch or on shitty Wi-Fi? No. That's a bad faith argument.
Either way,
most Eddie Gordo players are going to be on Wi-Fi. Does that mean Eddie Gordo needs to be removed from rank? No. That's a really stupid argument.
Is some poor sportsmanship. Almost as bad as goons were back in my youth, when hockey was actually fun to watch.
just like football was so much more fun to watch back when I played it, back when you could literally, at any moment, see the nastiest hit in history, like this one.
Tailback. Reeves swings it out.
They were trying to stop contact like that.
So, I get it. I can relate to this.
Sure.
Unlike hockey, though, fighting games aren't so fun to watch when someone is using special style.
Why not?
Because it's literally the game deciding what move to use for the player based off the current situation. There is basically
Why not?
no thought to it, just mindless button pressing. And that's one of the joys of fighting games.
Someone who's watching Tekken for the first time may not understand that special style does that at all. Someone who's watching Tekken for the first time, as a spectator, may not know that special style gives people inputs based off of where they're on the screen, or if it's AI generated controls roughly, things like that. They may have no fucking idea. So that's another bad fifth argument, because you're making the assumption that everyone that's watching Tekken is hardcore dedicated fighting game players, when that's exactly what we don't need. We don't want just hardcore old school dedicated fighters and players watching the events. We want new faces and we want new people so that we can grow as a community. Stop gatekeeping.
Games the considered use of tactics to get inside your opponent's head. It's something that I really struggled with in my early days as a fighting game player. It's something I'm still working on improving. Though one of my mind games is to babble at my opponent and try to have a real conversation with them, which is something my editors have been on the receiving end of.
And it drives me up the fucking wall. Like, look, when we are competing, okay, even if it's just in a friendly sort of way, when we are playing a game, 1v1, trying to compete, I am not trying to talk to you while I'm trying to beat your ass, okay? And this dude is trying to have full-on conversations. Drives me nuts. Absolutely drives me nuts.
That tactic is almost as annoying as someone using special style in a competitive match.
No, it's not.
But special style really has a special place in hell when used in this way.
No, it
either
doesn't.
shows a deliberate lack of knowledge on the game, or it's incredibly disrespectful to the...
Okay, another bad faith argument. You're saying that there's only two classifications of people. People that have no idea how the fuck Tekken works, so they play special style, and people who are trying to BM you because they're better than you and can beat you with special style. That's like saying that I can BM you by beating you with just jab. I have no fucking idea. I have so much knowledge that I can beat you with just one thing, and you have to hold that, right? Or on the other end of the spectrum, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm mashing random strings, and you don't know how to beat them, so you fucking died. Special style is significantly more predictable than regular Tekken buttons. Because of that, you should have an easier time fighting against it. It should probably be significantly less annoying than having to deal with an entire character's toolkit, if I'm honest.
The opponent. In a few matches, I've actually had people switch to special style after they started beating me badly. Now, I know I'm not the best Tekken player. I'm not even that good of an FGC player. I just enjoy fighting games and building a community of people who are below average to roughly average. So I know I will occasionally run across a player who's absolutely going to destroy me when it comes to ranked. However, when a far better player switches to
I'm already off
style,
Paladins.
it's literally them saying, "You suck," and I'm going to
You guys took way too long.
having the game decide my moves for me, as you're not worthy of my time. If this is someone's first real experience with the FGC, this will be demoralizing. For someone like me, who's roughly average, it's a big slap in the face.
So it's an ego problem. It is absolutely an ego problem. He said it's a big slap in the face when he plays against someone using special style. It's like, motherfucker, you don't even know the buttons? Or motherfucker, you don't need the buttons to beat me? It's one or the other. And people generally, I guess, don't like that. I don't really care. Like, I've played against people who are very strong with modern controls in Street Fighter 6, for instance, because I think that's actually a full, like, more put together system. I texted you and I messaged you I pinged and I messaged. I texted. Anyways, so because of that, I have a certain lack of empathy for people who want their ego stroked in a fighting game. Motherfucker, if you haven't earned your accolades, you gotta hold that shit. If you're not good enough to beat someone using special style, or you're frustrating fighting against someone who is clearly worse than you because they're using less buttons and still playing the game, hold that shit. I don't know, fucking use it or get over it. It's in the game.
And a huge fuck you. Let's be real, if you're starting out in fighting games, you really shouldn't be playing ranked.
That was my biggest problem with this, is that he said if you're new to fighting games or new to the game, you shouldn't be playing ranked. What is the first thing I do when I pick up a new fighting game? The first thing I do, I say, I'm going to learn a combo, I'm going to pick a character, I'm going to learn a few combos, and I'm going to go play ranked. That's exactly what I do. Day one, I played the game, I played Leroy right off the rip up to like orange or something, and I was like, oh cool, like that's badass. Or maybe yellow. I got him like yellow in the first day from beginner, right? And then I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna swap over to Ray. And I swapped over and I far surpassed my Leroy. This is really from the beginning of a Tekken game. This is my first beginning of the game Tekken ranked experience. The video is about how Tekken 8 needs to ban special style in ranked, which seems excessive for someone who doesn't like special style. Right? He clearly doesn't like the idea of special style in ranked. But the argument of new players shouldn't be playing ranked is really dumb. There's an entire YouTube channel, shout out to Sejam, who he's also a Twitch streamer. When he starts a new fighting game, he does like 30 minutes of training mode. Oh, these are my good buttons. This is my anti-air. This is my combo. Let me go ahead and go into ranked, and I'm just going to put it onto YouTube, my entire ranked experience onto YouTube for everyone to see. Though he's really good at fighting games, and he's been playing fighting games for a long time, like I have as well, for some reason, some people seem to think that when you're new to fighting games, you should not hop into ranked. That when you're new to a video game, you should not hop into ranked. But that's the worst idea. Ranked is supposed to put your own people, your own skill level. Going into ranked is probably the best idea when you're fucking new. Right? Because more than likely, in that shark-infested waters, you will find some people who are too far above you because the game is brand new, or the game just came out, or whatever, and there's not a good placement system. But after that, you will no longer run into those players, and you will run into players who are just as bad or just as good as you. Generally, that's how ranked works. If you're a new player, yes, you should fucking hop into ranked. I've gotten Tekken 8. What is special style? Special style is basically easy controls. You press a button, and then you have 4 buttons instead of 4 buttons and directions. Like you have one that does all your little combo attacks, you have one that does your launcher, one that does your specialty attacks, like power crushes and armor, and then one that does like lows and throws.
Because you're going
It's
to
a
get
simplified
your ass
version of
kicked,
Tekken.
which won't be a fun time, and then you'll more than likely quit playing the game, which means more than likely you won't become a member of the FGC.
If you stop playing ranked because you're not having fun because you're losing, that is a drive issue that has nothing to do with that you picked special style. That also has nothing to do that you picked regular controls. That is a drive issue. That means, maybe this game's not for me, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to become a member of the FGC. There are tons of people who play fighting games for their entire life and never really consider themselves FGC members. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
It takes a special kind of stubborn masochist to even reach an average skill level.
Just like both of us, brother. Just like both of us, because we are both definitely stubborn masochists, that's for sure.
So if I'm a stubborn masochist just to reach an intermediate level, imagine what kind of masochist you might have to be to reach a more competent level. Like my friend Setsi, who plays Tekken competitively. If you haven't already, go and give her a follow over on Twitch. She's a really great person. But getting back to my main point, special style is only intended to be training wheels. It's there to get newcomers acclimatized to all of the systems in Tekken 8 and give them an idea of what their character is capable.
Okay, and if that's the case, why not, in the beginning of learning a character, why would you not use special style? What's the issue of being new to a game or new to a character and being like, what does the game think my main buttons do? What does the game think my main buttons should be? My armor move, my throw, my low, my launcher. What are these buttons? You hit special style and you do the thing, and it's like, oh, okay, that's what the game wants me to do there. Let me learn that basic thing in the regular controls, maybe eventually. You never have to, but if you do, that's a jumping off point that exists in the game instead of a resource online where you have to go and look up a combo guide, because combos in the game aren't good either. Like, they're not great. So even in regular controls, you might never understand like what your good buttons are supposed to be, what your neutral pokes are supposed to be, and what your best low is and all that. But in the game, special style generally gives you your like best knockdown low or your best like plus on hit low. It will do that for you. Jin's low is his fucking hell sweep. Some people cannot do that input to do Jin's hell sweep. But you can just have special style on and do Jin's hell sweep. And it's a good low. Down 2 is probably better, but still.
On a very casual level, that's great. It's especially good if you're trying to play matches casually while drinking with friends. But that's the thing, there's only so far special style will take you before you run across someone who actually knows the game inside and out.
And that's your prerogative to figure out.
Massacre you when the time comes. With that in mind, in casual matches, it's more than fine. In fact, I'd encourage its usage there. I have a few friends who have such a small experience with fighting games that they'd basically require special style, and I'm happy for them that it's an option, and I would not begrudge them for using it in matches against me.
Then why would you take away that option in what's considered the main online mode of the game? Casual matches, if you do quick match, you may not run into people your own skill level, but if you do ranked, you will. And if you hit a wall using special style, you'll probably stay at that wall. But at least you'll still be playing people around your skill level.
However, I don't tolerate it when someone actually knows what the fuck they're doing in a fighter.
Okay, that too. He's saying, haha, you know how to play while you're using special style. That's stupid. That's their prerogative. What the fuck? That is so weird. That's like saying, I know how to play Street Fighter. I know how to do quarter circles. I know how to do links. I know how to do basic commands, right? Why would I ever play modern controls in Street Fighter? Why are you playing modern? You already know how to play Street Fighter. You already went through that arcade phase. Motherfucker, what if I want to? Giuna played fighting games the way they were intended. It sure isn't. I read the title. Giuna played fighting games the way they were intended for many years, and now, instead, he swapped over to modern controls for Street Fighter 6 because he likes the power level of them and considers them significantly easier for the amount of reward you get. He's been playing fighting games for 20 plus years. There's no issue with swapping over to something that you find more comfortable.
Since special style was not intended for them, so while you won't have an unfair advantage per se using special style,
You sure won't.
it should still be avoided since that's the domain of more serious players. Though
If you want to seriously play with special style, that's your prerogative. It's probably a bad thing to do. I think special style is extremely limited, if I'm quite honest. So I don't understand the purpose of this video, because you should probably just stomp people who are playing special style. It's real bad. It's really bad. Unless someone understands the systems of the game in and out, or both players are just flailing. Special style is extremely bad. You probably like this argument makes zero sense because there's no reason to worry about special style. It's a non-factor.
Tekken 8 does have a problem with its rank system at present. If my video on why Tekken 8 needs a reputation system is out by the time this one releases, a card will be popping up now. If not, I'll add one when that video comes out. But either way, Tekken 8 is in a bit of a weird spot now, almost 2 months into its life cycle.
It is, but special style has nothing to do with it.
Bandai Namco is going to need to fix it at some point for the health of the game. Removing special style from ranked is just one of those things that has to happen for...
Has to happen? I gotta pause there. Has to happen? Aren't there way more pressing matters when it comes to Tekken's online rank system? Right? No Wi-Fi filter. No benchmark. No real benchmark. Because honestly, people's PCs still fucking explode probably after they did the benchmark online. Finally, we have working disconnection rate. Those are way more pressing matters. Probably still some sort of a netcode overall. Probably still more pressing matters than removing special style from ranked. I don't think it has to happen.
For the good of the
I don't think the
game.
vast majority of people
Previous
care
point,
about special
I covered
style.
how it's intended for just beginners. The next part builds off of that. Special style really limits your potential
That's a good
in
one.
the game, since the game will decide for you based off context what move you'll do. It means you're really only controlling when to use Heat Engager, Heat Smash, and Rage Arts plus your movement, which at a casual level is fine. However, when it comes to actual competitive matches, your potential is going to be limited, as you won't know what move to use and when, which...
I think this part of the video could be why you shouldn't use special style in ranked. Or why you shouldn't use special style if you're more serious about learning. Maybe that's what this part of the video should be telling. Separate this because he's making a lot of sense. But with the title of the video, it's wrong. You don't need a ban special style event for that. If someone wants to play the game that way, that's fine. We had stylish in Marvel, and I believe you could use that in ranked. And then the same thing with the easy controls in, I can't remember what it's called, in Guilty Gear Xrd. You could use them. It didn't matter. They were non-factor because they're not as strong. They're like not even close to as strong as something like Street Fighter 6 Modern Control.
But at least it isn't like it was in the arcade era where you had things like fucking pretzel inputs. And before someone says anything, no, I was not an arcade rat. In fact, I came into fighting games quite late. But these crazy inputs and 360 ones are part of why I can't get on with grapplers. They tend to have a lot of half circle and full circle.
Did you know that in Street Fighter 6 you can play a grappler without doing a single 360 motion? It's called modern controls, by the way.
Inputs, plus more complex ones like the pretzel inputs if you're playing an SNK fighting game. I may love SNK in most terms of 2D fighting games, but Jesus Christ, someone had to be drunk off their ass to think pretzel inputs were a good idea.
They're pretty
But
funny.
here's the thing. Special style isn't exactly like modern controls in
It's not.
Street Fighter 6,
It's worse.
where you actually are deciding what moves come out to some extent. So this vastly limits your control over the character, which greatly decreases your potential with one. Now, I know most of us won't be competing at EVO, but relying entirely on special style kind of removes one of the joys of fighting games.
One of the joys of fighting games for you. For you. That's like when people say, oh man, fighting games just won't be the same if we ever remove motion inputs. Motherfucker, for you. I love DNF Duel. I never do the fucking real inputs in DNF Duel. I have a blast pressing forward magic skill, back magic skill, and down magic skill in my combos because there's other meat to the game. Special style does not have that. That's not a thing with special style. But the fact that it exists and people can play on it and continue to play on it if they want to, and that's the only part of the kit they ever care about, there's nothing wrong with that.
That being constantly learning, it gets back to that special kind of masochism found.
So you can still continue to learn how to move, where to place your buttons, when to place your button somewhere, why you're using said button in special style. You can still learn things. There is a ceiling, just like there's a ceiling to learning Tekken at the highest level of play. Like, I'm not saying the highest level of play in Tekken is realistically achievable in like a couple of months. Special style probably is, but that doesn't change the fact that there's still so much to learn. The game's only 2 months old. There's not even a master of special style yet. I promise you that.
In FGC, players were all perpetual students if we take these games competitively in any kind of meaningful way, which I've noticed extends not to just fighting games, but the gamer as a whole. Most of the people I know into fighting games tend to be of an intellectual bend, and they always want to learn something.
I know motherfuckers who just mash. I know motherfuckers. I'm motherfuckers. Okay, I know people, niggas who don't care about learning, who aren't trying to become the best, who don't care about competitive drive, and just want to have fun. I'm niggas. That's me. I may naturally excel at fighting games, but it's not something that I'm putting my heart into the same way that the highest level of competitive players are. And there's nothing wrong with that. If someone wants to casually mash around and play this shit like it's Naruto Storm, there's a mode for that now, and it's called Special Style, and they should be able to do that.
Now, that doesn't just apply to academics, but any hobbies they may have outside of gaming and other such activities. They always want to learn, they always want to improve.
I love learning
Which
about
is a
Magic
great
the Gathering,
thing when you
to be
think of
fair.
it this way. Fighting games can actually
card games in
expose you
general.
to different virtues, lifelong learning, determination, sportsmanship, and many others. If you'd like a video...
He said sportsmanship, and I saw someone with a 75% disconnection rate today on Tekken. I don't know about no sportsmanship, gang. I'm sorry.
Fighting games can teach you, let me know in the comments section. A lot of FGC members debate if fighting games should even include simplified controls. I'm working on a video on that topic, so if that interests you, consider hitting the subscribe
I hope it doesn't.
button. I often make video essays like this one about fighting games and other various topics in the gaming industry. So if these interest you, subscribing really helps the channel out. I personally feel simple controls are a good idea, but they should always come with some trade-offs. I also feel like traditional input should remain a thing in all fighting games and offer some kind of benefit. That way the skill divide will become all the more apparent. Even though simple controls...
Why do we need the skill divide to be more apparent? For what reason? If someone is the best in the world, they're going to be the best in the world regardless of the control type. If someone understands the game and its systems well enough, they're going to be the best in the world. It doesn't matter what the controls are. One of the fighting game gods, or one of the Street Fighter gods, got top 6 at EVO with modern Chun-Li. And you're not about to tell me that he shouldn't have used modern in EVO because it's not the right way to play the game. Motherfucker, who are you to tell him that? What?
And auto combos were made to initially close the gap between newer players and more advanced ones. It has actually widened said gap, which is a double-edged sword. In some cases, auto combos are more beneficial. Taking the King of Fighters 15, for example,
Me too.
some characters will have the
Me
properties
too.
of their move changed based off if it was done with a traditional input or done via an auto combo, which adds a layer of depth to the system. If you like the sound of that video, hit the like button on this one, or hit it if you just liked the video so far. It's clear Tekken 8 will evolve over its lifetime. It has been rumored the game will last for 10 years. We'll just have to wait and see how it changes over the next decade. Thanks go out to my current channel members.
Shout out to this channel members. I think if someone wants to use special controls, special style, as it were, it shouldn't really be ostracized heavily, right? We should want more people to enjoy our genre of gaming in any way that they can. Because I think fighting games are beautiful, right? If you never take that next step and decide to learn Tekken 8 or any fighting game in its traditional control scheme, that's okay. But you at least gave the game a shot and figured out if you liked it or not. Right? If you try Tekken 8, try regular controls after trying special style, and you're like, you know what? Whoa. There's like so much more stuff to this game and I don't think I can do it. And you stop. That's okay. That doesn't hinder our growth or our learning as players. It doesn't hurt us at all as people who want to become better. I'm not referring to me, but people like this, right? It's so strange to take away an avenue of enjoyment for people, especially a large group of people, because he said the vast majority of people he knows that play fighting games are intellectuals and want to learn. The vast majority of people I know that play fighting games, because I know a lot of normal fucking people. No offense to your friends, Colin. I know a lot of normal fucking people. They play fighting games. They have no idea what they're doing. They mash down one and a hop kick, and they do like a really shitty 1-2-2 combo off of it, and they have a blast. They have so much fun. I see casual people have more fun with their special controls, with their modern inputs, their dynamic controls, mashing square in Dragon Ball FighterZ than I have as someone who understands the game and its system more. Because they have no idea what's going on, and they see flashy stuff happen on the screen, and they made that flashy stuff happen. No matter how they did it, it happened. I'm over here like, I can't open this guy up, man. I'm trying to mid-low him, and it's not working. And they're just like, haha, funny button. I'm pressing funny button, having a blast. Like, I'm glad they're having fun. I'm glad that people are allowed to enjoy this genre, no matter the amount of skill that they have in said genre. Widening the skill gap will never take away from the highest, or I'm sorry, reducing the skill gap, I guess, will never truly take away from the highest part of the game without extreme measures. It'll never take away from the high, like, you'd have to make special styles the only way to control Tekken. For that skill gap to ever be completely reduced to the point where we don't know who the best players are anymore. There's still normal controls. It doesn't matter. He's in Vanquisher, this guy. This guy's in Vanquisher or Destroyer. He's in Orange. Yeah, of course you're still going to run into people using crappy Wi-Fi, which I run into people using Wi-Fi in Raijin rank. The vast majority of people who play fighting games, don't know if you know this, they don't fucking play wired. We're part of a very small subset of people called the FGC. That's like the 1% of people who play fighting games. The games can't cater around us. All they can do is add a Wi-Fi filter so we don't have to fucking deal with them. We can play against each other and let the Wi-Fi players play against each other, right? That's the real logic. Maybe if for some reason this is a big outcry and a lot of people don't like special style, maybe make a different section of ranked where you queue up, and when you queue up in ranked and you press special style, you only fight against other people using special style? I don't know. Still seems super excessive for something that's not very strong anyway. I think it would be cool to see special style only. That'd be sick. Like, special style versus special style. I wonder how that would go. No idea. But I don't think that something this weak or this unintrusive has any place being removed from ranked. There were arguments that modern controls were still too strong, and those weren't removed. And those are legal in Capcom Pro Tour. So I don't understand or see a need to understand why anyone would want to remove special style from ranked in Tekken 8. If you guys disagree, leave it down in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, go subscribe to Colin Lack if you liked this video or this style of video. Video essays are cool. I'm a big fan. Maybe we'll check out his other videos later. Shout out to this guy. No, I have no ill will for this guy. I just think he has a bad opinion. That's okay. I have bad opinions sometimes too. Anyways, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next time. This has been Beanie Thuggish talking about possibly banning special style in ranked and why that seems like a bad idea. Signing out and saying peace.